Cool. We're back. Part two. Part one was like 35 minutes. First part of this presentation. We're back with part two. And so, yeah, if you haven't seen part one, you can go watch that. Link will be in the description. Here with Matt Laker, founder of Travel Masterminds, where I kicked off my agency 3 years ago at his retreat in Bali. This is what he does. He's a consultant and agency owner and helps people grow their agency. So, yeah, let's dive back into. You want to quickly explain the iteration thing and kind of where we're at now?
All right, cool. So where we were in the previous part of the live stream is we started talking about putting all the things together in your agenda. So now that you've figured all the things that you need to do to build your agency to 100K, this has been figured, right? We already showed you that you need to increase the revenue by this amount of money every month. You calculate that. We showed you the calculation of how much it should be every month, whether this should be compounding, whether this should be linear growth. We showed you the graph here explaining you why this should be rather linear growth when you put them in together. We showed you how to make all the frameworks and all the tracking sheets to put more effort in what already works to scale and double down on what already works. And then we showed you how to test new things like new funnels. And now we got to the point where we have this massive list of things that we need to do over the course of a year. And you're like, oh my God, what do I do right now? Which of the things am I going to implement first? There's so much to do. I have multiple team members. What do I do myself? What do they do? We showed you how to divide tasks across the team members, but now when do you do them? How do you schedule this within that time frame here that I showed you that you have for your growth? This is the thinking and growing time of a business that you have in the mornings that you should schedule, except of the daily activities. And now, how do you prioritize all this? So you prioritize this with iteration. I was just talking about iteration as this mind-blowing idea when it comes to scheduling. So let me just brief you on what iteration is. So in old times, people use just waterfall project management, and waterfall project management is the way of project management where you are just first planning, then you are um, building something, then you're just launching, then you see whether it actually works, then you assess it. And this whole process is really, really long. And you don't really get feedback from the market right away. And oftentimes you build something that is just not kicking off, and you're just sad, hey, like it didn't work, and we spent like
Mm-hmm.
10 years building it. So obviously, in the startup world, uh, the logical thing to do was to actually build an MVP, minimum viable product, and just test something quickly. And really, internet and using apps and all that allowed us to do it because you can launch something quickly and just show it um, to your potential clients and get their feedback, and they just say, hey, this is the features, and they can give you feedback if they like it or not. And you would see a lot of um, hey Dan, nice to see you here. Glad you joined the tribe
Dan,
last week. Yeah,
join the
we had a
tribe.
call.
Stoked. Awesome.
Nice.
Dan from Australia.
Um,
Sweet.
so just coming back to this iteration. So you have this ability now to test things faster, and you just don't want to spend too much time figuring if it works or not. You just want to test it, and also you have so many things to test at the same time. So it's almost impossible for you to just kind of like plan one thing, then get the feedback too late. So that's why we put this entire list of things that you need to do, that you want to do, into a timeline so we can figure what can we do step by step. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to do a little bit to get some feedback from the industry, get some feedback from the clients. So what we do is we set up a Gantt chart, and in this Gantt chart we type in all the things that need to be done. So for example, let's say we want to uh, double down double down on Upwork funnel. We want to build a LinkedIn outreach funnel. We want to increase prices. Now, what we need to do is uh, essentially just type all these bottlenecks in there and all the things from the workshop agenda. And this way, we're going to know what needs to be done. But now we have to look at this from the perspective of time. So, for example, now, if you want to double down on Upwork funnel, what do we need to do to double down on Upwork funnel? So assuming that we have this tracking sheet and this has been proven to work and we're sending this many proposals, what we want to do if we want to send more. Maybe we want to have another team member doing this that works with us and sends another amount of proposals. But to do it, we need to find that person. To find that person, we need to perform recruitment. So recruit and Upwork assistant or somebody, right? Recruit VA. Then what we need to do is we need to train VA. Then what we need to do is have them sending it. So how much time do we schedule for that? So each of these boxes is 1 week. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. This is a month. In Google Calendar, you have week numbers, so you can track it. So what we do is we just write down or mark it as 4 weeks to have somebody recruited. Okay, so we just add it here. Then what we want to do is we want to also train a VA, but we cannot start training them unless they're hired. So we can start it here. So this is when we can actually start getting double as many calls coming from new clients. So we know this is going to happen in week number 9. Now, what if our delivery that we were talking about here in bottleneck analysis is a bottleneck itself, and we have this in our workshop agenda? Well, in this case, what we need to do is uh, we need to we need to just set a deadline here that we need to have more capacity for delivery, but actually not, because there is also going to be some lead time to close the lead. So as soon as you get them, there's probably going to be a delay of a week before they start working with you. So this is more or less when you need to increase your capacity. So if I want to increase this capacity, what I need to do is I want to hire one more delivery person, right? So how much time it takes for me to recruit and hire this person? Again, I have pretty much the same situation here, recruit, hire, but I have here 1 week extra. So what I could do is schedule this here. And now I can logically see that with iteration, it makes sense for me to start the processes on recruitment of a Upwork VA. And then after this, in the next week, it makes sense for me to start recruitment of a delivery person. So now this is all time bound. And this kind of Gantt chart will go for everything that I need to do. And this is how I know what I need to do in each week to be able to actually run this whole process. And here I have a list of all the things I need to do, but I do it with iteration. I do a little bit of this, and I jump to the next point, do a little bit of that to get things moving. And so this is how I schedule this in time for myself and the growth time, and for my team members. Obviously, I know their capacity and I give them specific tasks and specific time. And the last thing I want to share about, which is really important when it comes to my amount of work and amount of work for the team members, is that um, we try to delegate enough of the tasks to not keep people bored, but also don't give them anxiety. So we try to keep them within the flow channel so that I don't look like it would be really pointless for me if you look at my agenda. If I start my growth time here and I budget more time here up until here, and I don't get my gym breakfast and the shower, and I just stay hungry and get imbalanced. So that would be stupid. So what I do is I only have the capacity to work on the business within this block of 3 hours per day. Maybe I have team members who can do more, but I'm never going to exceed it because it's just not sustainable, right? So I would just give myself enough tasks that I can budget within the time frame. Otherwise, I'm gonna start getting anxiety. And if I just gonna give myself too little tasks, I'm gonna be bored. Now, as I was talking early on here, most of the entrepreneurs, they just give themselves too many things to do early on, but they don't schedule things over the time to give themselves the solid 3 hours a day, sustainably building their business, the rest of the time for operations and getting on sales calls, delivery, and that's it. And over a year, you're getting to 100K. It's proven to work. You don't need to now hustle like crazy. Just stop exercising, stop freaking eating, just live off modafinil pills for 1 month straight to build your agency because you're gonna start self-sabotaging yourself. You're gonna get just dissatisfied with your life, and
Yep.
and that's pretty much it. That's the recipe, and that's the frameworks. That's my entire presentation for today.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah. That flow made me think that I've been able to do a good job to stay in that, and having um, key rock stars on your team is a huge part of that. Like at the beginning, it was like doing everything yourself, and then oh shit, I'm getting more clients. How can I handle all this? There's too many client messages, too many client calls, and then yeah, once you find that rock star, that duplicate version of yourself, it was for me that was a huge thing. Um, cool, thank you, Walt, for that. Yeah, post your questions, guys. What stage are you at? What questions you have about any of this stuff? We have a little bit of time to answer questions. Yes. Research project management, workflows, optimization. Yes. Um, cool. What's this over here? Um, what CRM do you use? Do you use Pipedrive or using a CRM?
You're asking me or
Yeah,
asking
yeah, using you. Asking you.
for we're using and teaching how to use Pipedrive. But any
Nice.
any tool would work. Like you could use HubSpot or something else. We just use this one, but it's important that you have one of them.
Yep.
But that's mainly for sales. Obviously, like you would use something else for project
Nice.
management.
I just signed up for close.io. Somebody recommended that, but haven't used a CRM. Just been using Notion up until now. But because it's got like email, it like organizes your email inbox into different client stages and
Mhm.
integrates with your email software and all that stuff. Um, how long does it typically take to transition from freelancer to agency? Typically,
That
says
depends on the stage of like what kind of freelancer are you? Are you making like 1K per month and you still have a job and this is your side gig and you're just starting out, or are you making 10K per month? This is the only thing you do, and your bottleneck is the delivery and you just need to hire more people right now and everything already works. So if that's the case, then it could be as little as 1 month to turn it into an agency. And if you're just starting out and have like 1 gig a month, and obviously it could take up to 1 year. So generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, it takes up to 12 months to get from 0 to 10K and in monthly revenue, and up to 12 months to get from 10K to 100K in monthly revenue.
mm-hmm. Decentral Wise says, do you focus primarily on scaling your product slash service efforts or clients? Scaling your products efforts or clients, or pretty equal balance?
I'm not sure how
So
to
does
interpret it. Can you rephrase it
yeah.
really?
Yeah, so does that mean like focus on offering more services before you get more clients? I would say focus on, that one core service first and get a lot of clients for that, like your core service, core offer. And then from there, you can start um, offering those additional related services to your existing clients, get that offer dialed in, get that package and pricing dialed in. And then if it makes sense to bring people in at the top of the funnel to that new offer, then you can test that out. That's what I would say. And so for me, back to how long does it take? Like took me a year to get to 10K, and probably